Imagine reaching into your pocket for a single penny, only to discover that it could be worth more than a luxury home. It sounds impossible, yet stories just like this have fueled one of America's fastest-growing treasure hunts. And today, we're taking a closer look at the mysterious 1973 Lincoln 1 cent with no mint mark, a coin that millions of people have handled without giving it a second glance. But what if one tiny detail could change everything? Most 1973 pennies were produced for everyday circulation, and those without a mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Billions were made, meaning the average example is only worth a few cents. So why are collectors still searching through old jars, dresser drawers, and forgotten piggy banks? Because every now and then, an ordinary coin hides an extraordinary secret. Here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While a typical 1973 Philadelphia penny isn't rare, certain examples with exceptional condition or dramatic mint errors have captured the attention of serious collectors. A flawless coin preserved with brilliant original surfaces can command impressive prices. Add a rare error such as a dramatic off-center strike, a doubled die, or another unusual minting mistake, and suddenly the value can climb into the thousands, sometimes even far beyond expectations. Think about that for a second. The penny sitting quietly in an old coffee can might not just be spare change. Could be the one coin everyone else overlooked. That's exactly why experienced collectors never judge a coin by its face value alone. Now here's a question that might surprise you. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny before spending it? Most of us don't. We toss them into cups, leave them in cars, or let them disappear between couch cushions. Ironically, that's probably the safest retirement plan some pennies have ever had. But don't stop searching just yet, because condition matters almost as much as rarity. Professional grading services carefully examine every detail, from the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait to the original color of the copper surfaces. A coin that appears ordinary to one person could receive a remarkable grade that dramatically increases its desirability in the collector market. Even more exciting is the possibility of discovering a genuine mint error. These production mistakes weren't supposed to happen, making them fascinating pieces of American minting history. Collectors compete fiercely for the finest and rarest examples, and auction prices continue to remind us that small details often create enormous value. So what about headlines claiming values of hundreds of thousands of dollars? Those eye-catching numbers generally apply only to extraordinarily rare specimens with exceptional characteristics, unique errors, or historic significance, not to every 1973 no-mint mark penny. That's why careful identification and professional authentication are absolutely essential before celebrating a life-changing discovery. The next time you receive a handful of change, resist the urge to spend every penny without looking. Examine the date. Check for unusual features. Study the surfaces under good lighting, because history has proven that remarkable discoveries often begin with the smallest objects. Your next penny may simply be worth 1 cent, or it could become the coin that changes the way you look at pocket change forever. Have you ever dropped a 1974 Lincoln penny into a jar without giving it a second thought? What if that tiny copper coin could be worth more than a luxury home? Believe it or not, some extraordinary examples of the 1974 Lincoln cent have stunned collectors with incredible prices, and the rarest specimens have reached values approaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. Before you spend another old penny, stay with me because one small detail could change everything. The 1974 Lincoln cent was struck at the San Francisco Mint during a time when millions of pennies entered everyday circulation. Most are worth only a cent, and that's exactly why so many valuable examples escaped unnoticed. They blended into pocket change, coin jars, dresser drawers, and forgotten collections across America. Hidden among ordinary coins are a handful of remarkable pieces that collectors continue searching for decades later. Now here's where the story gets exciting. Not every 1974 penny is valuable, but exceptional condition changes everything. Professional collectors pay enormous premiums for coins that have nearly flawless surfaces, brilliant original color, razor-sharp details, and strong eye appeal. Add a rare, striking characteristic or an unusual minting error, and the value can climb dramatically. You've probably heard rumors that a 1974 penny is worth $774,000. While stories like this spread quickly online, it's important to understand that values depend on the specific coin, its authenticity, condition, rarity, and whether it has been professionally graded. The highest prices are achieved only by extraordinarily rare examples with exceptional qualities. Most 1974 cents are worth far less, but discovering an unusual specimen can still be incredibly rewarding. So how do you know if yours deserves a closer look? Start by examining the small S mint mark beneath the date. Look for sharp details across Lincoln's portrait and inspect both sides under good lighting. Original red color is especially desirable because copper naturally darkens over time. Watch for unusual doubling, striking errors, off-center designs, or other characteristics that separate an ordinary coin from one collector's compete to own. Here's something many people overlook. Cleaning a coin almost always reduces its collector value. It might seem like polishing makes it more attractive, but experienced buyers prefer untouched surfaces. Ironically, the dirt you want to remove could be protecting thousands of dollars in collectible value. Imagine discovering that the penny sitting in your family's old coin album has remained untouched for 50 years. Suddenly, what looked like spare change becomes the centerpiece of an auction. That's exactly why serious collectors inspect every coin one by one instead of making assumptions. And before you rush to cash in, there's one final step that could make the biggest difference. If your 1974 Lincoln cent appears exceptional, have it authenticated and graded by a respected third-party grading service. Professional certification builds buyer confidence and can dramatically influence market value. The next time you hear a penny hit the bottom of a jar, don't dismiss the sound. It might be ordinary, or it might be the beginning of an extraordinary discovery that has been waiting patiently for decades. One careful inspection today could reveal a piece of American history worth far more than anyone ever imagined. Have you checked the loose pennies hiding in your kitchen drawer lately? Most people would never imagine that a single 1-cent coin could spark a bidding war among collectors. But what if an ordinary-looking 1975 Lincoln penny with no mint mark turned out to be something far more unusual? Before you spend another penny, you may want to listen carefully, because one tiny detail could make all the difference. The 1975 Lincoln cent without a mint mark was struck for circulation at the Philadelphia Mint, where pennies of that year normally carried no mint mark at all. Millions were produced, and most remain worth only a cent. That sounds like the end of the story, doesn't it? Not even close. Hidden among those everyday coins are rare examples with extraordinary characteristics that collectors search for year after year. Imagine reaching into an old coffee can filled with forgotten change from decades ago. It feels ordinary until one coin catches the light just a little differently. That moment of curiosity has launched countless collecting journeys across America. Sometimes the greatest treasure isn't buried underground. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight. Now here's where things become fascinating. While standard 1975 no mint mark pennies are common, coins displaying dramatic mint errors, exceptional preservation, or unique characteristics can command astonishing prices in the collector market. Stories of remarkable auction results fuel excitement because every collector knows that rarity, condition, and authentication determine real value. That's why two pennies that appear almost identical can end up worlds apart in price. So before you start planning your dream vacation, ask yourself one simple question. Is your penny truly ordinary, or is it quietly waiting to surprise you? Look closely at the surfaces. Is the original red color still vibrant? Are the details on Lincoln's portrait sharp and untouched? Do you notice unusual doubling, striking mistakes, or other features that separate it from millions of others? These are the clues experienced collectors hunt for with patience and determination. Here's something that often makes people smile. Pennies have a funny habit of pretending they're worthless right up until someone knowledgeable takes a closer look. It's almost as if they've been keeping a secret for 50 years. Some online headlines claim that a 1975 no mint mark penny is worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Those extraordinary figures refer only to exceptionally rare coins with unique characteristics, outstanding grades, or unusual circumstances, and they should never be expected for an average circulated example. The true market value always depends on professional authentication, condition, rarity, and collector demand at the time of sale. That doesn't make your search any less exciting. Every roll of old pennies represents a mystery waiting to be solved. Every inherited coin jar could contain a piece of history overlooked for decades. And every careful inspection sharpens your eye for the details that others miss. So before another handful of old change disappears into a vending machine or coin-counting kiosk, take one last look at every 1975 Lincoln cent you own. The next coin you examine may not change your life overnight, but it could change the way you see every penny forever.